Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is Jeff Cook. It's Wednesday night. We are in the kitchen, and it's cold and it's wet and it's miserable in Cape Town. And we have a beautiful little warming dish, the Jeff Strongenuff, essentially a slight variation on a stroganoff, that we're going to whip together. Quick, easy, one pan, beautiful, loads of flavor. Some stuff that's going to warm you up, and you're going to get it onto a plate pretty quickly. So, looking forward to it. This is always one that kind of brings back some memories. Growing up, the folks were pretty good at whipping together a stroganoff. My dad knows his way around a cooking pan. I'm sure they're tuning in tonight as well. Actually had a phone call with him earlier in the week, and he was giving me a few tips about stroganoff and saying, was I using paprika? Am I doing some sherry or some wine, or what the case is? He gave me one or two little tweaks off the recipe I sent you guys that I'll let you know as well, because he has perfected it. And they got their ingredients together, because tonight you might not be tuned in just yet, so I'll repeat it just now, Mom, but happy birthday. It is my mother's birthday today. She is still a spring chicken, and hopefully had a great day up in Maritzburg. But happy birthday, Mom. We all love you lots. We're going to get the grandkids to come and sing happy birthday for you again. You already had it earlier today. But happy birthday. We love you. So, guys, hopefully you're getting all your ingredients together. There isn't a lot. You can also change your choice of protein a little bit here. Fillet is good because it cooks quick and easy. So I said beef or pork. Either of those are fine. I actually popped into a Woolies and I found some venison fillet, some black wildebeest, which you'll see in a little second over there. I'm going to give that a crack. So it's going to be a little gamier, but anything that cooks quick and easy. Could do chicken as well if you wanted to. Any of those are options. So got a nice protein depending on the portions that you need. If you're on our challenge, females 150 grams, males 200 grams if you're on the one-on-one. For every protein portion you need, 50 grams of meat. So if it's 3 or 4, pretty sure you guys can do the maths. So we've got that, and then I'll run through the rest of the ingredients. It's really just some aromatics, some mushrooms, and some flavors. And then we thicken it with a little bit of yogurt. You can see them all listed inside there. So the only real prep is making sure your garlic is diced, your onion is diced, and your mushrooms are sliced. Get some stock on hand, and if you want to measure everything else and ready to go, do that. Not a whole lot else to do. We can shoot the breeze for the next few minutes. You guys can swipe in, let me know how you are all doing. Coach Tony is my beautiful new kitchen. Pretty much 99% finished finally. It's been a labor of love, but we are pretty much there. So much happier now, much more space, and things are lovely in here. Minnie is here for swapping in for thinning the hers. Is that the hers or the herds? Either way, if it's the hers, I love it. Leslie, how are you doing? And happy birthday to my mom as well. Thank you. No, not your mother. Another Leslie. Joy is swapping it for the Northern Legends. And Joy, we were thinking of you guys all today. I hope the trip to the hospital with Tristan went well. So Tristan, I know you must probably be in the kitchen tonight, whipping up a storm. Looking forward to seeing your dish at the end of it, and I hope everything went well today. So just a quick little shout out for you guys. Amanda, Lance, how are you doing? For the Foodie Fanatics, busy last week of my challenge. Taryn, swapping in, says hi everyone. Ava, good evening. How are you doing? How is the whiskey this evening? We've got something that looks almost whiskey-esque. Everyone was having a bit of a complaint about first serving the 40 mils of wine. What the hell am I going to do with the rest of the bottle? I'm sure that's not going to be a problem for you. I actually really felt like a little sherry flavour in it, and that's the one that reminds me the most of home. Was my dad adding some sherry to the stroganoff. So I've got a little bit of sherry. That's what we're going to use to deglaze the pan a little bit later. Obviously, the nice thing about cooking with alcohol is it cooks off all the calories from it. So you get the flavour without any of the calories, because it disappears very quickly like magic. Caitlin Westbrook, I'm sure won't have any problem with the other 710 mils in the bottle of wine. Joy says, Tristan is ready to cook. Lovely, good man, on your feet and fighting fit. You're soaring with Saki, Caitlin, that's your little groupie there. Michelle Berger, hello, swiping in from Guns Loading. Yes, hard to do a cook along without one, isn't it just, particularly in winter? So as long as we can cook with some of it, it helps us consuming it all. So that's the upside to cooking with one. You're going to be having it anyway, so chuck some in the pan and then you don't end up drinking the whole bottle. Judith, I'm sure it's not as bad in Scotland. You say it's sunny actually, so fantastic. Caitlin, you got vermouth. So that was the third option. So I said some sherry, some wine or vermouth. So vermouth, quite nice to cook with. Gives nice flavour, a lot drier, different sort of characteristic. And you're also less likely to drink that, so it's a good one to keep around for getting some good flavour into your dishes. Nikki Eagleston, how's it going? So it's not difficult to drink it if it goes into your martinis, no. Lauren Linda Freitas, good evening. Nikki's got some good old brown sherry. I was chatting to someone today and wondering if they still make those big bottles that just have that little handle on the corner that didn't really make sense when you're trying, I don't know, but it was quite an iconic bottle shape. Joy, the plan allows for wine when you're cooking with it. You can definitely add it to some cooking. Don't worry about that. Otherwise, we keep it for our 1.5 days. Amy's here in the background, beautiful. So if there's any prep left to do, get that done. Whatever your side is going to be, if you need some carbs at night, she'll go nicely on some rice or some mashed potato. If you want to keep it lower carb, you could do some cauli rice, cauli mash. You could just serve it with a bit of veg, whatever you want. You can kind of play around with what you serve it with. But the main dish itself, nice and lean, you're going to get 3 to 4 portions of protein out of it. Not a lot of fat. The fat's really going to come from a little bit of a cooking oil and a little bit of yogurt. So it's nice and lean as well. The fillet, the meat that you're using, is going to be super lean. So it's a nice low-fat option. And then some veg from all the veg that we're going to throw in. Right. So my mom is here and ready to cook. Thank you for the amazing ingredients and loving the shilling. So I'm sure they were not or are not going to use any more than the allotted 40 mils of wine in the recipe, because the rest will have to go into the glass. So my mother is on her way. Candice from Coach Liz and Ed's Misfits, lovely. Vermouth be good with pork or sherry better? So the sherry might be a little bit better. A little bit of sweetness in the sherry that goes quite nicely with pork, but to be honest, either will work. So it doesn't really matter. Pork fillet will make a lovely stroganoff either way. Kate Henshelwood, pumpkin mash will work as well. So that's a nice kind of lower carb version of doing it. So you can definitely do it that way. Either of those will work nicely. Any veg, really, have a crack at it. All right, beautiful. No more questions. Everyone's ready to go. We are on the half hour and ready to cook. So we're going to start with the pan, obviously, and some meat. So we're going to brown off the meat to start off with, put it to the side, then cook everything and get it back in to go. I'm just going to slice that still. As you can see there, we've got our lovely fillets of black wildebeest. You're going to come sing to Gogo quickly? No. Gogo's watching and cooking with us. She wants you to say happy birthday, no? Here we go. In case you missed the start. You're going to sing tomorrow to Gogo. Sing to Gogo. She's in there.
Say hello, Gogo. Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear.
There we go.
All right, so just the thinner you slice it, the quicker it's going to cook. And that's the whole beauty about Strongenuff, is everything's going, you can turn it. Nice little fillets like that. So they'll literally be seasoned 2 minutes in the pan with some oil, just to get them browned. Then we'll take them out. There we go. You haven't said hello to everybody. My head chef is in the house. You can see her there.
Eddie talked too much. I couldn't say hello.
Right. Shani, what's that say? Just swiping in. Lisa saying hello to Izzy, who helped us fix her broken leg.
Hello, Lisa.
She's back and functional and running around and causing havoc again.
Yep.
Her gangster lip has disappeared.
Well, she still gets it every now and again when she remembers about it.
Michelle, excited for the recipe tonight. And there are quite a few people. I saw a good few comments coming through. People, obviously the recipe goes out in advance. So over the weekend,
I saw people making it.
Okay,
Yeah, what's it called?
Which is nice. Because if there's a problem with it, I'm sure you will all let me know before the Wednesday that we actually cook. All right, so just season your meat with some salt. Be quite generous. A little on. There you go. And then in the pan. Yep. Right, so medium high heat, you want to get some good color on there, so you want it to cook quite quickly. So the pan mustn't be too cold. Get the color on the outside, don't overcook it, then it cooks really, really quickly. And then we're going to take it out the pan. There's a bowl next to you there, love. We'll just give it 2 minutes and then we'll take it out. Nancy, I think you need apron on the swag list. I'm trying hard to get it up there. It is very possibly coming, and then you guys will be able to add it to your next order. Claire Powell, good evening. Justine, you're in quarantine, so you get to watch live. You've done some isolation. Shame. I went for a COVID test on Monday. Had this nasal. You can hear me sounding a little bit like I'm inside a barrel, but no COVID, thankfully. But it is getting very real, guys. So stay safe. Do what you can. Be responsible. Emily is swiping in for the 5 feisty felines. Save that after a few vermouths. You might struggle. Gareth, looking forward to it. Lovely. Nicole, swiping in for Lizzie's bomb squad. Beautiful. Right, so super simple. All we got going at the moment: meat browning in a nice hot pan. Get a bit of color on the outside, seasoned. Then it's going to come out. I'll put that in. Going to hand over the Master Jeff Rains. She's in a beautiful dress.
Thank you.
Right, I'll be in my butcher's gown. The chili preppers are here, David. Yes. It's good to catch up with you guys. Leah still loves your group name.
The best.
Charlene Rousseau, swiping in for Nicole's Ninjas. Beef Strongenuff is a favorite in your family house or in your family as well. Beautiful. Such a wintry meal.
Could you purposely do this in on Thursday, or did it come?
Sort of. I was thinking of home and thinking of my mother's birthday and what reminded me of it all, so it all came together quite nicely. It's not my favourite dish. Siri, looking forward to trying this out with chicken. You're not prepped yet, but just getting started. So the beautiful thing is there's not a hell of a lot to do. So all you got to do is slice your chicken and get it into the pan. And while that's cooking for 3 minutes, you can slice some mushrooms, some onion, and some garlic. And then we're going to be ready to roll. Alex has already done it. Just swiping in to do it, see if you did it correctly. If it tasted good, you did it correctly. That's always the important thing. You might do it very differently to the way that I do, and that's fine. Right, so just another 30 seconds on that. Emily is also just checking documents. I think I saw you post it. Auntie Pat, how are you? Lovely. Hopefully everyone is on track. Not too much to do. So what we're going to do, that's going to come out the pan in a couple of seconds. Splash more oil if you need it, just depending what the pan looks like. Just so you can get a bit of color onto the onions. Right. It wasn't on your recipe, but 2 of the tips that my father really recommends. First is paprika into a stroganoff. So when our onions go in, I'm going to add a little sprinkling of paprika and then a 1/4 teaspoon of tomato paste. So again, it wasn't on your recipe, but just learning from the more experienced amongst us, that it just takes the flavor to another level, adds another layer to it. So I've got a little bit of tomato paste. I'm just going to add a 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want too much. You don't want it to get too dark, too red. Stroganoff still needs to keep its light color, but just gives it a nice little undertone that should help. So if you've got some, add about a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of tomato paste. If you don't, it doesn't matter. And some paprika, you might also have that kind of in there. Covered. So onions first. All right, so let me take the right side and keep it. Okay, so onions in. And also just about a 1/4. Paprika is quite a strong flavor. You don't need a lot of it. The smoky one's really strong. We're just going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of that. So Siri, we're cooking for 2. And I'm going to add, so 1/2 teaspoon, flat teaspoon for 2 people. Okay.
Is there a reason?
Just a flavor. It's going to give it just another kind of layer to it. So it's going to give it a bit of a depth of flavor that you might not get without it, because otherwise you've just got the onions, you've got the veg, and with the tomato paste just gives a little bit of sort of extra flavor, extra love. Lorna, good evening. Just finished with Jules' 45-day challenge ceremony. How was it, guys? They announced the winner of the fabulous holiday. I was obviously here, so I haven't seen. Someone's night might have been made.
I saw Mackie in the ceremony.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she did the challenge.
Cool, so we've just got the onions sweating away. It's got a little bit of paprika and a little bit of tomato paste. And that's just getting a bit of color, starting to brown on the edge slightly. Candace says she loves tomato paste. Adds it to most of your dishes as well. Have you worked out what to do with the rest of your bottle yet, Candace? The garlic's not in yet, but it's going to go in shortly. We're just starting with the onion first. And then once there's a little bit of color on it, starting to sort of get a bit more translucent, we're going to stick in the garlic. Jennifer says the winner's only getting drawn on Saturday evening. Okay, cool. So we didn't miss out. Candice loves it quickly too. Right, do you want to stick in the garlic? The garlic is going in, and we can pop the mushrooms in as well. And that's just going to be about 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to deglaze it with whatever liquid you're choosing, some white wine, some vermouth, or some sherry. And it gets all that lovely flavor. There's a bit of stickiness on the bottom of the pan now, which you should see. A bit far out on our view, but it is there. Candice, you're trying to be strong. The rest of the bottles in the fridge. Lovely. Right, so it'll just cook for a couple minutes. Give it a good stir around. You'll be all right. While that's going, we can mix the paste that we're essentially going to do. Right, so I need some of my ingredients back here. So mixing bowl. And what you're going to do is mix together your stock, your flour, your Worcester sauce, and your mustard. Give it a good whisk mix around, and so it forms a sort of slightly thickened sauce. And that we're going to pour in after the wine has gone in there. So you might as well mix that in the meantime. So what I'd do is flour in first, and to stop it being lumpy, just a smidgen of the stock. We'll add the rest once we've got that nice and smooth. So it's just you see it there. Teaspoon of flour per person, and it's 100 ml of stock, but I've only added about a tablespoon of stock just to make sure that it doesn't get lumpy. Yeah. And then the rest of the, so just wait a second. Do you want to say happy birthday to Gogo as well? In your pajamas that Gogo made.
Both of them are in Gogo's pajamas.
Okay, so the Worcester sauce has gone in with the flour and stock mix, and then the mustard going in as well. So half a teaspoon of mustard per person. Yeah. And you've just got a bit of a sauce. And that'll go in. If you want to keep it gluten-free, you can use corn flour instead of wheat flour, which is going to help thicken it. So I'll just use a little bit less. And then as this goes into the pan and heats up, it's just going to help thicken the end product. Obviously using yogurt as well means you should get a nice sort of thicker even bit. Please recap the bowl mixing thing, Caitlin. Sure. So in there, started with the flour, so 1 teaspoon of flour per person, with 100 ml of stock, but just add the stock a little bit to make a paste, and then the rest, and then the Worcester sauce and the mustard. So it was 1 teaspoon of flour, 100 ml of stock, bit by bit, 1 teaspoon of Worcester sauce, and half a teaspoon of mustard. All right. And that's what we've got there as our little sauce. And I think the pan is now going to be ready to be deglazed with whatever choice of liquor you are putting in there. So we've got our sherry. Yeah. So 40 ml of wine or vermouth or sherry per person. And it's just going to bubble off. Give it a good scrape on the bottom of the pan so that you can get all the lovely flavor that's stuck on there back up and in there. It's going to be delicious. Smelling nice. for 6 people, how much stock? 400 mils. You don't want too much liquid. Yeah, you might not want it. It might just need a little bit longer to cook off at the end if you add extra. You can always add more liquid if it's a little bit thicker. So Caitlin, start with 400 mils. That's fine. Okay. All right. How are we looking? Good. Lovely. Okay, so we're just going to let that bubble off for a couple seconds.
Smells like varsity.
Like varsity. Were you guys?
Face dances.
Yes. Winter in Stellenbosch at the Haste Dance. Used to arrive and get a shot of Old Brown Sherry to start the night.
Quite enthusiastic about that.
So there's lots of memories in this pan with all the colours, all the flavours and the smells and all sorts of things. Okay, so that's bubbling away, and then we're going to add the sauce. That goes in. Just check on whatever side you're serving it with that you've got going at the moment, if it's rice or mash or whatever. That should be close to being done as well. We're just going to cook that. As the flour cooks, it's going to start to thicken a little bit. It'll be great. We'll chuck in the meat and stir in the yogurt, and we'll be good to go.
Bob's your uncle.
Simple as that. We've been cooking for 17 minutes, and we are almost done. Quick, easy. Jamie Oliver would be proud with his 15-minute meals. Almost. It's already thickening there. If you pull from the top of the pan, you see as Greer, you can see how it's starting to thicken there, which is nice. That flour is starting to get the heat through. It's thickening nicely. A fair bit possibly darker than a normal Strongenuff. Have no liquor like you suggested. You've got gin or rum, or what's alternative?
Rum.
I wouldn't do gin. I'd be tempted with rum to see what it tastes like, but it's also not the end of the world. You could do maybe if you've got a little bit of lemon juice or vinegar and some water with a couple of herbs. You could do something like that. You get a little bit of acid from it, which is great. You could make it a little kind of your own sort of version, just a flavoured liquid. But the acid will be good to it, and that'll help just kind of balance the dish a little bit. Cool. So that's looking good. We are, I think, just going to give it a second, and then we will pour in the yogurt. Ooh, it tastes good. That Worcester sauce. Okay, so the yogurt's going in. Going to give it a nice creaminess. Superb. Give it a stir through. It doesn't need to cook or anything, and then we're going to get the meat back in. Let it heat through slightly, but we still want it a little bit pink in the middle. Fill it. Don't want to overcook it. It'll get dry quite quickly, so it doesn't need to cook much. At most, we'll just give it 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, we're going to pop the meat in as well. And then we might get some greens. I wonder if we've got some parsley. We don't. We've all the other greens in the world except parsley. But parsley, just thinking about it, would be quite nice on top. So if you've got some, perhaps you've got some growing, anything's still alive from the weather out there. Or if you've got some in the fridge, a little bit of green on top would be great. You could also ramp this up. You could stir through some green veg, a little bit of baby spinach. It would actually work quite nicely if you just wanted a veg version, you know, get a little bit more nutrition in the plate. Not typical, but we don't have to be.
I'm having baby spinach with it.
Greer didn't want rice or cauli rice or anything, or she stuck all the cauliflower into the kids' dinner, which was great. So we won there. So I'm just going to have it on some baby spinach. To stay on track with her challenge nutrition.
Well, I've only been able to do the nutrition because of my cold. I did the first week of exercise and that was it. So.
Caitlin also considered serving it on baby spinach. There we go.
I think it sounds delicious.
Yeah. Alex added some baby spinach for a bit of green. You guys are on it. Lovely. Well done, guys. So I think that is ready. We definitely don't want to overcook it. So we're going to turn the heat off and
I think that looks superb.
serve it on a bowl. In a bowl. On the bowl.
Right.
Do it on the spinach or in the bowl. Just taste it for seasoning. The salt should be fine, just depending how much kind of salt you added to the meat. It might need a little bit of pepper. Pepper plays really nicely in this dish, so it will work quite well. But just taste. Caitlin, Greer's on the go for gold challenge. Emily served it on cauli mash. I saw a pic. I don't know if someone posted that was on cauli mash or just normal mash. It looked fantastic. Candace added some spinach and some broccoli.
Isn't that traditionally served with pasta?
What can be anything for jar pastas. Caitlin, cool. All right. Last week of challenges. Hopefully you guys are pushing on hard and looking in some planning for the next set of them as well. Some cool things coming. Just plant a seed or two in the next few days. Candace is yellow. Beautiful. It's ready to dish. 50 minutes. 24, 50, 6:53. 20 minutes and it's on a plate. That's what midweek dinners are all about. So, better than a typical stroganoff. No cream in here. We've got it nice and creamy with some yogurt. So added a nice layer to it. Loads of flavor going on. You're not sacrificing flavor. You're getting it all onto the plate. Nice lean protein. What a way to win. Exactly.
I'm not going to be most certainly not. Tony and Ellie's. Yep. There we go.
There you go. Lovely little creamy stroganoff on a bed of baby spinach. It does indeed look delicious, Makosazana. Caitlin, anyone wanting to run, Saki is the bomb. You've never run in your life. I swear he is really, really good. So either through his running challenge or on the one-on-one doing one of our running programs, 5, 10 or 21Ks, we've got some goals. Saki knows what he's talking about. He's been there, done it, and now he's teaching us all how as well. So
Hey, that's my next one.
then she,
It's my race in October.
yeah. Greer's, what are you running?
The
Trail.
trail half.
Cape Town Trail.
But I've never run trails.
That's
I've literally done about 3 trail runs in my life. So this is a new
Saki will sort you out.
Exactly.
We'll get you ready. Guys, lovely. How quick and easy was that? Loads of flavor that's just coming out here for the smells. So it's going to be great to tuck into. I'll get mine done. I'm just warming up a little bit of rice. Go on to. And that'll be the dish. Done. Super simple, easy, packed with flavor, nutritionally balanced, everything's there. So hopefully you guys are going to Caitlin's going to join you. Who are we talking to? Some comments. We'll catch up on the last few. I said goodbye to you.
Pick me for your group.
Lorna looks delicious. Hope yours looks as good. Suen looks delicious. Thank you.
Oh, Kaylin says she'll do it again. Sucky's challenge. Awesome.
Here we go, guys.
Kaylin, I feel like you've been running for a long time. So you're probably going to be
Kaylin's
a lot better
not a
than
rock
me.
star.
Yeah.
Racing snake. Jennifer looks delicious. Definitely going to try it out. Candace, brilliant. Claire, excited to dig in. Enjoy, super easy. Well done. Claire Powell, good evening. Fantastic. Michelle, the Claire, beautiful. Thank you very much. Guys, as always, loads of fun, quick and easy. We're done until next week. We've got a lovely little session lined up from, hopefully, if everything comes together. Unfortunately, it's not Bria and I who will be there. We'll be here, but the other side of it will be the banks of the Zambezi River. So tune in for that one. It's going to be superb. Mom, enjoy the rest of your birthday. Have a fabulous evening. Enjoy that bottle of Shannon. And keep the old man in check. And for the rest of you, have a great, we've still got a bit of a way to go to the end of the week. And then join us on Saturday for our Go for Gold workouts. Absolutely epic lineup the whole day. Flat out. I'm going to be around there as well. Coach Tony's joining me as well. She's doing some breakfast and singing on her guitar and all sorts of things. Well, playing a guitar and singing. And then all sorts of other odds and ends. Celebs, going to have loads of fun, and you guys can go get your bronze, silver, or gold medal, get your hours in, and come and join us. It's going to be epic. Even Izzy and Harry are going to be doing some exercise. So it's going to be fun. Guys, until next time, have a great one. Cheers.
Oh.